Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into the Eskiin Shower Head filter. Lots of buzz around this one.
It really promises a lot, doesn't it? A whole spa experience from your shower head.
Exactly. So our mission today is basically to figure out if it's the real deal or, maybe just clever marketing. Is it a scam or legit?
Based on the data we've pulled together.
Right. I mean, the claims are pretty wild. Filtering chlorine, heavy metals, fixing dry skin, frizzy hair, even acne.
And saving water and boosting pressure, that's like the trifecta.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's unpack the science part first. What's actually in this filter?
Well, interestingly, the core tech seems solid. It's a 15-layer system, apparently.
15 layers. Wow.
Yeah, and the key ingredients, KDF55, calcium sulfite, and coconut-activated carbon.
Yeah.
These are actually well-known filter materials. They do work.
Okay, so KDF55, what does that target specifically?
That one's really good with chlorine and heavy metals. It
Mhm.
uses an electrochemical reaction, basically neutralizes them. That's often what causes that dry, stripped feeling on skin and hair.
Ah, okay. That makes sense then. Because when you look at the user feedback, some people report really positive results.
Right. Like softer skin, shinier hair.
Yeah, and I saw mentions of less brassiness in blonde hair, which would
Ah.
track with removing chlorine, right?
Exactly. And there was that one specific anecdote we found, quite detailed actually,
Oh, yeah.
about it helping clear up someone's chronic skin irritation, even skin tags, which they link to their hard water reacting badly.
So it sounds like functionally, the filter itself, it probably does something beneficial based on the materials.
It seems like it, yes.
Hmm.
The science supports that cleaner water result. But, and this is a big but,
Oh,
we have to talk about the company itself because that's where things get, well, complicated.
right. This is where the data started looking a bit messy. We
Hmm.
definitely noted some red flags around transparency.
We did. I mean, first off, the physical address they list, we looked into it.
Right.
It seems to be one of those virtual office spaces or maybe a co-working spot. Basically, tons of other unrelated businesses use the same address.
So not exactly a dedicated headquarters or factory.
No. And while that's not automatically disqualifying, it can sometimes be a tactic, to seem bigger or maybe make the company harder to pin down if there are problems. A bit sketchy.
Okay, that's one thing. What about the reviews? Because that seemed really weird too.
Oh, completely. Their own website boasts, 10,000 plus 5-star ratings? Something like that.
Yeah, a huge number.
Yeah.
But you can't verify those anywhere else, right?
Not really. Then you hop over to Amazon, and it's got 120-something reviews, averaging 4.3 stars. Still decent, but
But way fewer. And Trustpilot?
even less. Only 4 reviews there, averaging about 3.4 stars. That gap between their site and third-party sites is, well, it's enormous.
A canyon, as you said before we started recording.
Pretty much. It strongly suggests they might be gating reviews. Heavily promoting the good ones on their turf and maybe not engaging with the less positive feedback elsewhere.
That feels deceptive.
It's definitely a data pattern that raises concerns. And we also saw some reports, didn't we, about difficult returns, people having trouble getting help after that initial 30-day window.
Right. So, okay, let me play devil's advocate for a second. If the filter does use good materials, and some people are getting good results for their skin and hair, does the slightly shady office address or the review management really matter that much to me, the buyer?
That's a fair question. I think the caution isn't just about whether the filter works today. It's about your recourse if something goes wrong later.
Ah, okay. Risk mitigation.
Exactly. If the filter breaks in 6 months or you have an issue, that lack of transparency in the reported return issues, it means you might have zero support. That's why looking at the company structure matters too, not just the product in isolation.
Got it. So pulling this all together, what's the verdict for someone listening? It sounds kind of split.
It really is. You've got decent science backing the filtration claims on one hand.
And real user reports of it helping.
But on the other hand, you have these significant inconsistencies and transparency issues with the business itself.
So caution is definitely advised.
Absolutely. And if you do decide to try it, maybe consider where you buy it from.
Like Amazon, maybe?
Yeah, purchasing through a big third-party retailer like Amazon could be smarter. You get their buyer protection, their return process as a backup, instead of relying solely on Eskiin's potentially problematic customer service.
Okay, that's practical advice. So here's a final thought to leave you with.
Go for it.
Given that the filter materials are proven, and it seems to genuinely help some people with tangible issues like skin irritation or hair quality, does that positive impact outweigh the sort of questionable business practices and lack of transparency?
Does a good end justify potentially sketchy means to get it to market?
Yeah. Is the product good enough to overlook the company's behavior? That's something for you to mull over.